With this WVLI News Update, I'm Rob West, back with a look at today's news right after this.
Stay connected to your community, even on the go. The WVLI Podcast Network brings you 3 great local shows. The WVLI News Update keeps you informed. Kankakee Valley Community Happenings gets you ready for the weekend. And This One Time in Kankakee shares the incredible stories of our area. Find the WVLI Podcast Network wherever you get your podcasts or at WVLI927.com. The voices you trust beyond the dial.
Manteno Fire Protection District reporting a crash Thursday afternoon in Peotone that sent 2 people to the hospital. In a Facebook post, Manhattan firefighters say they were called to the crash just north of the intersection of Center and Bar Roads about 3:30 yesterday afternoon. Reports say firefighters had to cut one of the crash victims from their car. One of the victims was airlifted to an area hospital in critical condition, the other taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The intersection of Center and Bar Roads had to be closed for a time, but has since reopened. Will County Sheriff's Police investigating the cause of that crash. State of Illinois recently announced the first human case of West Nile virus in the state this year. Kankakee County Health Department Administrator John Bevis says testing is being done to detect West Nile virus in Kankakee County.
We did just post a week or so ago our first positive batch of mosquitoes that tested positive for the virus, but we haven't had any birds test positive, and we don't have any human cases.
Bevis says the weather we've had so far this summer has kept the number of mosquitoes that carry the West Nile virus to a minimum, but adds that there are things that you can do to lower your risk of contracting the disease.
The slogan is, reduce, repel, and report. Reduce your exposure in that if you're going to be out, especially in the evening when they're most active, you can wear longer pants as opposed to shorts, longer sleeves, wear hats and caps, make sure your neck's covered. Definitely reduce the amount of water that's out in your yards. If you have standing water, those are areas where the mosquitoes will lay their eggs and hatch. And then report any neighbors that have pools with stagnant water and those types of conditions. And then our staff can go out and investigate those.
Bevis adds that if you're going to be outside in the evening or early morning hours, it's a good idea to use a bug repellent with DEET. You can contact the health department if you have any questions. Keener Township, Indiana Volunteer Fire Department called out to fight a blaze at a home early Wednesday morning. Jake Lamore has that story.
Rob, according to a Facebook post, firefighters were dispatched to a fire inside an attached garage of a home near 900 West and 1225 North Roads in Keener Township about 10 minutes after 2 Wednesday morning. When crews arrived, they found the attached 2-car garage fully involved with flames, spreading into the living quarters of a single-story home. The fire quickly spread to the attic and destroyed about half of the home. There were people inside the house at the time of the blaze, but they made it out safely. No injuries were reported. Firefighters were on the scene for almost 3 hours and were assisted by several other area departments. I'm Jake Lamore.
Governor JB Pritzker responding to comments from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell about the possibility of keeping the Bears in Illinois. Speaking this week at the league owners meeting, Goodell said that he recently met with Illinois lawmakers, and Illinois, he says, is not out of the running.
We want to make sure that Arlington Heights and Illinois have an opportunity, as well as Indiana, to put their best foot forward.
Pritzker confirmed to Capital News Illinois that he has spoken to the NFL commissioner and that it's his job to make sure that they have the best opportunity to keep the Bears in Illinois. Will County Fair continues today. Fair Representative Karen Drawley has a rundown of today's events.
Today at the Will County Fair is one of the 2 demolition derbies in the grandstand at 7 o'clock, sponsored by Pearl. The fair opens to the public at 8, with the carnival opening at 4. The family entertainment tent has Mike's Family Magic Show, Dave Fleming juggling, and the Flash Magic with Ian Tully. In the beer garden, we have the band Forecast, which will be performing at 8 o'clock. For all the information, see willcountyfair.org. We look forward to seeing you at the 123rd Will County Fair, barn in the USA.
Will County Fair runs through Sunday at the fairgrounds just outside Peotone. Gas prices headed down as we get closer to the Labor Day holiday weekend and the unofficial end of summer. AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular no-lead gas, $4.30 across the land of Lincoln, down a dime in the past week. AAA says that gallon of gas sets you back $4.24 on average in Kankakee. That's down 13 cents from the price 1 week ago. Gas in Iroquois County running $4.25 on average, $4.35 a gallon in Ford County, $4.13 in Grundy County, $4.23 in Will County. Across the state line, AAA says a gallon of gas sets you back $3.46 on average in Newton County, $3.55 in Benton County, $3.56 a gallon on average in Jasper County. AAA says gas running $3.43 a gallon on average across the Hoosier States. Watseka Family Fest continues today. Darcy Smith sits on the Family Fest board and has a rundown of today's events.
The Watseka Family Festival gets underway at 4 p.m. Food vendors, our Tailgate Treasures craft show, and the Gibson Area Hospital Kids Zone all gets underway at 4. At 5 p.m., the American Legion will start serving their fish fry. The beer tin opens, and the gates open for main stage concerts. Confederate Railroad at 7:30, followed by the Kentucky Headhunters taking the stage at 9. And Lanterns Road will wrap things up after the concert on the Miller Lite Beer Tent stage.
Watseka Family Fest runs through Saturday at American Legion Park on South 4th Street in Watseka. Even with summer starting to wind down, there is still plenty to do around Kankakee County this weekend. With a look at a few of the events, here's Angelina Gear, Executive Director of Visit Kankakee County.
Friday night, head to the Grove in Bourbonnais for dinner and movie on the Green featuring Lilo and Stitch. Food trucks start serving at 6 p.m. and the free movie begins at 7. If you prefer your Friday night with a little more horsepower, Friday Night Lights Racing is happening at the Kankakee County Speedway. Grandstands open at 5:30 with racing at 7 p.m. Then Saturday morning, grab your running shoes or your walking shoes for the Purses in Paradise 5K at the Vintage Purse Museum in Manteno. It starts at 10 a.m. and includes live ukulele music, food trucks, a marketplace, and plenty of tropical fun. Find even more weekend adventures at visitkankakeecounty.com.
In sports, St. Louis Cardinals snapped a 5-game skid with a 7-5 win over the Baltimore Orioles last night. Cards host Pittsburgh starting tonight. Both the Cubs and Sox had Thursday off. The Sox start a 3-game weekend series in Minneapolis, taking on the Twins tonight, while the Cubs host the Reds starting tonight. Chicago Fire FC take on the Seattle Sounders on Saturday. The Sky at the Liberty tomorrow. NASCAR wraps up their regular season with the Coke Zero 400 at Daytona tomorrow afternoon. And the Bears wrap up the preseason with a game against the Titans in Nashville tomorrow night. That is a check of news and sports here on this Friday. Have a good rest of your day and a great weekend. Be safe, everybody. I'm Rob West.
In the summer of 1952, frantic phone calls jammed Kankakee switchboards. Mysterious, blinding lights were hovering right over the Illinois Central Railroad tracks. Were they alien invaders, high-altitude physics experiments, or a legendary local prank? I'm Jake Lamore. On the latest episode of This One Time in Kankakee from the WVLI Podcast Network, we explore our hometown's strange history with flying saucers. Listen now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.